Wheat is the primary ingredient in bread, making it an essential agricultural commodity that provides nutrition to people worldwide. The two most political commodities are crude oil wheat, but wheat has a much longer history impacting government control and power. Over the ages, leadership that failed to provide access to food at a reasonable price lost their power. The French Revolution is an example of wheat's influence, as high prices and low availability led to the French aristocracy's decline and cost the Queen her head. The latest example came in 2010 when rising global wheat prices and shortages ignited bread riots in Tunisia and Egypt, leading to the Arab Spring. Wheat was involved in the sweeping political change across North Africa and the Middle East. From 2012 through 2020, CBOT soft red winter wheat futures moved lower and then sideways. From August 2015 through September 2020, the price remained below $6 per bushel. In 2021, CBOT wheat futures rose above the $7 level for the first time since May 2014, and in 2021, the $8 level, pushing wheat to the highest price since 2012. The weather tends to be the primary factor for wheat's price, but other issues are pushing it higher in the current environment. CBOT wheat prices are sitting near the $8 per bushel level. In early November 2021, the nearby CBOT wheat futures contract traded above the $8 per bushel level for the first time since December 2012. Over the past 3 months, wheat futures have consolidated around that price. The chart shows $8 has become CBOT wheat's pivot point as the agricultural commodity digests its move to the highest price in nearly a decade. The KCBT-CBOT spread says consumers are worried about rising prices. The KCBT hard red winter wheat futures price minus the CBOT soft red winter wheat futures price is a spread that can tell us a lot about the behavior of U.S. wheat consumers. Many bread manufacturers price requirements on the KCBT price. Therefore, they tend to do so in the KCBT arena when they hedge future needs. Over the past years, when wheat prices were steady below $6, consumers did not do much hedging. The long-term average of the KCBT-CBOT wheat spread is a 20 to 30 cents premium for the KCBT wheat. The lack of hedging pushed the spread to a premium for CBOT wheat. In August 2021, the KCBT wheat moved to a premium for the first time in years. The chart ZWH22KEH22 shows the move to over 40 cents per bushel for nearby KCBT wheat over CBOT wheat in January. The spread was sitting at the 16.50 cents per bushel premium for KCBT wheat on February 2, indicating increased consumer hedging activity before the beginning of the 2022 crop year in the Northern Hemisphere. Consumers are hedging because they fear even higher prices over the coming months. Russia is a critical factor for the path of least resistance of wheat futures. Russia is one of the world's leading wheat-producing countries, but it has been the top exporter over the past years. The Black Sea ports are a critical logistical hub for Russian wheat exports. The Black Sea is bordered by Bulgaria, Georgia, Romania, Russia, Turkey, and Ukraine border the Black Sea ports. The threat of a Russian incursion into Ukraine has supported wheat. The potential for war in the region, blockades, or export bans have been a very bullish factor for the wheat market, lifting the price to the highest level since 2012 as continues to straddle the $8 per bushel level in early 2022. Inflationary pressures underpin the price. Ukraine is only one part of wheat's story, as rising inflation has lifted fertilizer, energy, transportation, labor, and all input costs for all commodities, and wheat is no exception. The U.S. Fed will be increasing short-term interest rates after CPI rose by 7%, PPI grew by nearly 10%, and GDP exploded higher in 2021. The inflation indicators have put upward pressure on all prices. Wheat farmers facing higher production costs require increased levels for their crops to keep pace with the highest inflation in 4 decades. The weather is the ultimate determinant of wheat's price direction. The critical factor for all agricultural prices is always the weather each year. However, Inflationary pressures and the potential for hostilities in Ukraine could also reduce the amount of Russian wheat exports this year. The wheat market faces more than the uncertainty of weather conditions in 2022. Consumers have stepped up their hedging activity, pushing the KCBT-CBOT wheat spread back to the long-term norm and the highest level in years. Meanwhile, the wheat futures market trend remains bullish as we head into the 2022 crop year. The trend is always your best friend in markets, and in wheat, it is higher. Wheat is a staple for worldwide nutrition, making it a highly political product. The long-term chart illustrates wheat's all-time high came in 2008 at $13.3450 per bushel. In 2012, the agricultural commodity rose to a higher low of $9.4725. The tensions between the US and Russia, rising inflation, and the uncertainty of the weather over the coming months could create the perfect conditions for a challenge of the 2012 and even the 2008 highs. Consumers are hedging because they are nervous that prices will continue to rise, and availabilities could become problematic in 2022.